Hello viewers, this is Shubha before you with the next video in the series of Booker Prize Longlisted Books and Authors 2023. Today, I am before you with a novel inspired by the true story of the once racially integrated Malaga Island off the coast of Maine by the Pulitzer Prize winning author of Tinkers, Paul Harding. Inspired by a true story of events. During the early 20th century, Harding's narrative reimagines an island and its inhabitants off the coast of Maine, which the writer calls Apple Island, based on Malaga Island. As Harding reconceives it, Patience and Benjamin Honey arrived and settled there in the late 1700s. Benjamin was an enslaved runaway and Patience was a white Galwegian. They were poor and hungry, living on what the natural world has to offer. But over 100 years later, Apple Island is inhabited by a diverse community, most of whom are black or mixed race. The novel opens with the riveting story of a terrible storm washing over a small island off the coast of Maine, with a family clinging to the branches of a large tree and watching houses and people caught in the angry waters in the flood below. The Eden that Benjamin Honey had built was destroyed in 1815. His wife Esther tells the tale to her grandchildren, the history of their Ark Island. The Honey family had lived there for 6 generations. Their neighbors included the Larks, with their colorless children, and the McDermott sisters, who took in 3 orphaned Native American children, the spinster Annie Parker, and Civil War veteran Zachary Hand, who preferred his hollow tree to his cabin. The mixed races of the families had produced individuals of every type, the pale and the dark, green eyes and red hair, straight hair and tightly curled. The prevailing period is 1912, the eve of destruction for all who lived there. Full of lyricism and power, this other Eden explores the hopes and dreams and resilience of those seen not to fit a world brutally intolerant of difference. Based on real events, the book describes generations of inhabitants of an island, descendants of different cultures, who create their own world away from the so-called civilization. Their cosmos begins to disintegrate when the Honeys receive attention of the authorities seeking to implement social standards which vary from those of the islanders. This is a fictionalized account of what really happened to the residents of Malaga Island, Maine, once a home to a fishing community. In 1911, a very dark blight on the state of Maine and its history took place. A tragic chain of events spurred by prejudice of the poor, the racist science of eugenics married with political corruption. Their foil is Matthew Diamond, a white teacher who spends his summers providing a traditional education to the islanders, even though the very sight of black people sickens him. It is he who eventually causes the state to intervene on Apple Island, destroying the lives of those he condescendingly feels are in need of saving. The eugenics movement was at its height. The islanders were disturbing. They were measured and assessed, labeled and judged to be degenerated by the plain white of the mainland. As the island comes to the attention of the politicians, the missionary Matthew Diamond determines to rescue Ethan, a green-eyed boy who can pass as white, and foster his art talents in Massachusetts. The others are headed for institutions so that the island can be developed as a vacation destination. The racially diverse residents of a small island community in Maine were evicted and displaced. The local authorities who carried out this task on Malaga Island cited science as one of their motivations. But what they call science is now obvious as eugenics. And these nominally lawful actions are now rightfully seen as a crime. Harding focuses on different characters over the course of the novel, including a young man named Ethan Honey, the descendant of a former slave, whose artistic skills offer the promise of a better future. Esther Honey, Ethan's mother, who grapples with her own haunted family history and possesses a stunning knowledge of all things Shakespearean. And the well-intentioned retired white school teacher Matthew Diamond, who begins the novel oblivious to the greater, probably utter catastrophe his presence is going to spark, but finds unexpected moral reserves. As these characters find themselves rethinking their places in the world, Paul Harding summons up lyrical sheets of prose. This Other Eden is a complex novel written from changing points of view, with references to the Bible, to Shakespeare, with an interesting structure and with truly beautiful descriptions, often in long run-on sentences of the natural world. It raises important questions about those considered as other, historically, but more importantly, and still completely relevantly today. This Other Eden reveals the dark side of Maine's history, though fictionalized, but is still constantly recurring in real life. Teeming with biblical undertones, such as the story of Noah and the Ark, this Other Eden gives credence to the self-destructive and sinful state of the world that demands intervention. For craven eugenicists and greedy politicians and developers, Apple Island is a cauldron of sin. A short, beautifully written novel that documents an ugly episode from America's racist past, involving an isolated mixed-race community who are disrupted by outsiders with a commitment to eugenics and bettering the islanders. Regarding our author, Paul Harding, he is an American musician and author, best known for his debut novel Tinkers, published in the year 2009, which won the 2010 Pulitzer Prize for Fiction and the Penn Prize, among other honors. Harding was the drummer in the band Cold Water Flat throughout its existence from 1990 to 1996. Harding's second novel, Enon, published in the year 2013, concerns characters from his first novel, Tinkers, looking at the lives of George Crosby's grandson, Charlie Crosby, and his daughter, Kate. A moving account of community and displacement, his third novel, This Other Eden, published in 2023, has been longlisted for the Booker Prize. And with this, we come to the end of today's video of This Other Eden by Paul Harding. Thank you. Have a good day.